Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make this summery off the shoulder jumper. You want to make your chain the length from shoulder to shoulder, so just measure against yourself, but make sure it's in multiples of 2. For my top, I will be doing about 60 chains. Once you have your amount of chains, making sure it's in a multiple of 2, you then want to chain 2 more, and then we are going to do a half double crochet in the 3rd chain from hook, and I will do it in the back bump. So if you turn your chain over, you'll see the little bumps. Do it in the 3rd bump. So half double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. You've got 3 on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And we're going to repeat that all the way down to the end. So after your first row of half double crochets, we are going to chain 3. We're going to turn our work, and this first chain 3 will always count as our first stitch. So any chains that we're doing will never go into the first stitch here. We're going to do a double crochet now, but we're going to skip that first stitch where our chain is, skip the 2nd, and we're going to do a double crochet into the 3rd stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through those 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And then we're going to do a chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then a double crochet into the 2nd. So it should look something like this. And we're going to repeat that. So chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet. And you should start to get these little squares. So repeat that all the way down to the end. So when you get to the end of the 2nd row, we are going to end on a double crochet, but because we're color changing, we are going to yarn over, insert our hook, and yarn over again. Pull through the first 2, and then we're going to change our color. So drop this color, and my next color is going to be beige. So I'm going to get my beige yarn, just make a loop around my finger, and then we're going to add that to your hook and then pull through to finish that double crochet. And then you just want to pull tight, and I always just tie the ends so that they can't come undone. And now you can start working with your beige yarn. For row 3, we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to keep the first colour still attached, so just have that out of your way. We are going to do a single crochet all the way down in the spaces and on top of the double crochet, but remember that our turning chain always counts as our first stitch, so skip that stitch. We're going to go straight into the space, and we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to go into the top of the double crochet and single crochet, and just keep repeating that. 1 single crochet in the space, 1 single crochet on top of the double crochet from round 2, and repeat all the way down. At the end, we're going to do a single crochet in the last space, and then we're going to do a single crochet into the top loop of the chain. So we've got our chain 3 that we made, and I'm just going to do a single crochet into the top. It doesn't matter too much where you put it, it's just so we can get that extra stitch in there so that your work will stay straight. And another thing to mention is I didn't actually count any of my stitches for the whole project, so I'm just making sure that the edges are straight when I put them down, and as long as you're adding in a stitch on the end of your chains, that's fine. And always remember to treat your chain stitch on the first of each round as a stitch, so you never go into that first stitch. For round 4, we're going to do a treble crochet mesh stitch, which is basically the same as round 2, apart from we're doing treble crochet. So we are going to chain 4, turn your work. Remember, we're skipping that first stitch, and we're going to do a treble crochet, so you wrap your yarn around twice, skip the second stitch, go into the third, which will be basically just on top of that double crochet. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop, you've got 4 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So it should look something like this. Then we are going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and then we're going to do another treble crochet. So it should look something like this. So all of your treble crochets should just be in line with the double crochet. Chain 1, skip a stitch, treble crochet. And you're repeating that all the way down to the end. And we are going to place our final treble crochet into the end stitch, but we are going to do a color change, so don't finish your treble crochet completely. We're going to pull through the first 2 and then the second 2, and then on the last 2 we're going to add in our third color, place it onto your hook, and then pull through, and again tie the ends to your beige yarn. Row 5 is the same as row 2, so we're going to do a chain 3, turn our work, and we're doing another mesh stitch. Always skip that first stitch, skip the space stitch, and we're going to do a double crochet into the top of the treble crochet. And then we're going to do chain 1, skip that space, and then work into the treble crochet. And repeat that all the way down. When you get to the end, it will look like this, but you want to make sure you're adding your last double crochet into this chain. So we're going to do a chain. You want to count up about 2 stitches in that chain and place your last double crochet into that chain. So it should look like this. Row 6, we're going to just do a single crochet all along. So chain 1, turn your work, skip the first stitch and go into the space. So just a single crochet, and then single crochet on top of the double crochet, single crochet in there, on the double crochet, in the space, all along. So you're just adding a single crochet in each space and each double crochet. And again, when you reach the end, you're placing a single crochet into the space and then a single crochet into the chain that we made. And before you finish your single crochet, we're going to go back to the white. So I will just pull up the white and finish my single crochet. And you want to make sure that you're always tugging this end. When you're adding your new color, it can end up getting a bit tight and going like that. So just pull it so that your top will lay flat. And we are now going to do a chain 3. Making sure to keep pulling that side. We're going to turn our work, and we are now going to skip a stitch and single crochet into the 3rd stitch. So remember, skip this one, skip the 2nd, and single crochet into the 3rd. Again, it's going to be in line with your double crochets and treble crochets. So we're just going to do a single crochet, chain 3, skip a stitch and go into the top of the double, and repeat that. Chain 3, skip a stitch, and then single crochet, chain 3, skip a stitch, single crochet, and you should start to have this shape. Your final stitch will be going into the top of the chain, single crochet. For row 8, we are going to chain 3, turn our work. We're going to do a double crochet into the space, chain 2, double crochet into the next space, chain 2, double crochet into the next space, and repeat that all the way down. On your last one, we're going to double crochet into the space, and we're going to change color again, so don't finish your double crochet completely. Get your beige yarn and finish a double crochet. Remember to pull. And then we're going to do 3 chains, turn our work, and now we're going to do a double crochet in each space and on top of our other double crochet. So double crochet into the space, and then double crochet onto the top like that, double crochet into the space, and repeat that all the way down. So 1 double crochet in the space, 1 double crochet onto the top of the double crochet from the last round. It's quite hard to see where you're placing your last stitch, but we are just going to place a stitch into the space, and that will be our final stitch. Now we're going to keep repeating that. So the first 9 rows, you're just going to keep repeating over and over until you get the length of your top. So this will be the front panel. You're going to do the exact same thing for the back panel. So you should have 2 identical pieces, and you'll just keep crocheting until you reach the length that you want. So once you've finished the front of your top, it should look something like this. So you just keep repeating the patterns. I think I did about 38 rows. You want to do the exact same thing for the back panel, make it the exact same sizing, and then we're going to attach those together. Now you want to place them on top of each other, and we are going to attach them, and this will be your neck hole. So I'm going to slip stitch them together on this side, then I'll attach my yarn and slip stitch on this side, and depending on how big you want your hole to be, that'll be how many slip stitches you do. I've slip stitched about 1.5 to 2 inches on each side. To do the arms, we are going to put our top on and find where you want the armhole to start. So for me, I just placed a bit of yarn when I was wearing the top, and I wanted the armhole to start here. So when it's closed, the arms will be like this. So they'll be quite big and oversized, and that is where I'm going to keep crocheting. So open up and count how many rows that is. So that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So we're going to start from the right. So I'm going to count 24 rows down. Start with the first colour. So for me that'll be white. Attach our yarn. Chain 3, and then I'm going to just place a half double crochet in each row. It's important that you've got the same amount of stitches on each side. So far I've done 32 on this side, and I'm going to do 32 on this side too, making sure you finish at the same part as this panel. And then now you've done your first row of half double crochets, making sure you've got even number of stitches on both sides. So in total I have 32 on this side and 32 on this side. We're going to just repeat the exact same pattern as this. Once you've done the sleeves, it should look something like this. So you'll have your front and back, and then your 2 sleeves. And now we want to just sew the sleeves and sides together. Making sure that we have the seams on the outside facing us, we're going to pick up the shoulders and then fold everything in half. So we've got the shape of our top. And now we are going to sew or slip stitch the sides together, whichever you find easiest. And you're going to start from where we have our last sleeve that we were just making. Just sew all the way along and down. Skip this bit because this is our body hole, and then you're going to repeat the exact same thing on this side so that it's all just one piece. And then that is your finished top complete.